And good morning, all. How are you doing on this fine? Why do I want to see December? It is not December, folks. It is January. It's January 14th, and we are dealing with some. I'm trying to make sure things are set up on the backside. We're dealing with some wild and crazy wind this morning. Man, it's brutal out there. 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. It's cold. It is just ugh, it's not good out there. Welcome, Makers Movers Podcast. How are you doing today? We had a good show last night. We did some, kind of gave an update on where things are, in TRW land because hey, we're going through stuff. Update today. YouTube said, hey, we're still investigating, making sure that they're, proving ownership that we own it. Not sure, how how that how that actually goes because I'm like here's everything there. So, like I said, we're sending them as much information on stuff that we can so we can hopefully get it all back soon. If not, we're gonna figure it out. But today's show, we're talking about your business, right? We're talking about your business and having its own personality. And, do you know what it is? So that that's what we're gonna talk about today. Now, let's check in and see how people are doing. Oh yeah, let's make comments up here. Remember, sharing's caring. Since we don't have the other channel, share, because that's the only way we can get out there. We'll put things out there with it. If you are also a member or Hall of Fame member, check your emails or email if you haven't. Check your emails because you should have gotten the registration form for the webinar today. If not, email in info@therhinestoneworld.com and we'll get you taken care of. Love to Sparkle. Good morning to you. Barb, good morning from north central Minnesota. It's 0 and sunny. Yeah, Barb, thanks for sending us that. It's amazing down here. It is the wind. Like I can handle cold. It's the wind that just bothers me. Water in the cup, 5 things. Customer pickups, DTF listed print, digitizing, embroidery stitch up, 3D printing. Love it, love it, love it. Tim, good morning day. All. Good morning, all. Let's rock this day. That's right, Tim. Hey, good morning, Tim. Hey, Linda. And Renee, greetings from Chicagoland, where it's 13, 28-mile-an-hour winds. They're going to start picking up soon with snow squalls. Water in the bottle, tea in the cup. Oatmeal cooking. Oh, hi, Barb, Tim. Love to sparkle. Yeah, it's going to hit north. They said snow northeast of us, so it's kind of we're pushing all that wind out of there. Pasha, good morning from the Ozarks. It's cold but sunny here. Coffee in the cup. Mail orders, content creation, edit photos, work on custom design order finished Romeo setup. Love it. How you loving that Romeo? Oh no, you haven't. You can't tell me how you're loving that Romeo because you're still working on setup. Oh yeah, which reminds me, this is what I need from you: who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is like in your area, and then 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? For us, we got taxes. We've got taxes. We've got payroll. We have meetings on supply things. We've got to order some product, and we're gonna pay bills. That's fun stuff right there. Grown-ups things. Morning, Linda from Renee. Hi, Renee. Back from Barb. Wrestling. Good morning, everyone. Team replay for last night. Yeah, go watch. Tell me what you think, what you feel. Yes, we did this one. Oh, we did this one. This is what we did last night. And like I said, I this one was the Crystal AB, right? The rose petal pink, and then the wisteria. And the wisteria is a purpley color. I think it's going to be really great for spring stuff and for Easter things because of that color in it. There you can kind of see how that purple is there. But man, look how all that sparkle on it. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that's the most, not the funnest part, but one of the funnest parts of the job is just seeing those things come to life, and it just sits back there and sparkles away. I love it. Morning, Russell there. Keith, good morning from the sunny Space Coast there in Florida. And let's see, you're welcome on the weather. Thanks. We're headed for sub-zero next few days. Yeah, I'm not down with this. I would love it to be like this on Sunday. I'm right there with you, Renee. Sunday, for those who don't know, Bears Rams game. Pretty sure I have a good feeling about this, which scares me because I shouldn't have a good feeling. I shouldn't have a good feeling. Right, Rustling? I hate being a grown up sometimes. Yeah, where you just wake up and you're like, "What's due today? What's due today?" That's what I love. And Linda's got 46 there in sunny Central Texas with tea in the cup. Five things is watch mother-in-law while Sylvia's out. Watch last night's show, 3D print, engraved, press hats, shirts. Love it, love it, love it. Hi, Linda from Barb. Okay, so to give you some updates on stuff, like I said, YouTube, we're still in limbo on what's going on there, and so no decisions are really going to be made until they give us a decision. If they say, "Hey, we have it back," then everything goes back to normal. We don't have to, we just had a little hiccup. It'll be nothing more than a comma in an encyclopedia. That's just what it is. It will just be a little blip in the road, and we'll continue on. If not, then we'll start on the reconnaissance missions of getting things taken care of, moving new platforms, doing things like that. In the meantime, until we know for sure what's up with YouTube, Hall of Fame and All Star training, that will be done through webinars. So you'll need to register for those, and we can send out the link and you'll be able to get it. But just check your email. And if you haven't received that this morning, info at therhinestoneworld.com. It should be posted in the group post on the page. Should be good to go. So we're making sure that everything is good. Renee, that's like what, I'm not going to tune, it's Sunday night game. Like I, it's just all the things point to say we should be pulling this out, whether field conditions, who's playing, they haven't won, the coach hasn't ran, we've played them twice. They haven't won. I'm just saying, I have to be the Bear fan, right? I have to be the Bear fan. Like I said, worst case, made it to the playoffs. We beat the Packers. Like that's kind of a win, right? That's a win. Making it to the playoffs is a win. Beating the Packers, even bigger win. The only thing that would make it sweeter was if that would have been NFC Championship game. But we're 2 wins out, right? We got this one, and then we go Super Bowl. That's what we got to look at and see. See, I'm being positive with it. Good vibes for the Bears. I am. Everybody, good vibes. Good vibes. How about good vibes for the Bears as we go through that? All right. What do you say we get into this? All right. I think one of the biggest reasons that makers feel stuck or overwhelmed or that's on my hand frustrated, in their business, it's not just pricing. It is. I don't think it's pricing or competition or even the algorithms of social media. I think a lot of it is the identity confusion. You're running a business that doesn't actually match who you are. You're posting content that just feels awkward. You're taking orders that you secretly hate. Or you're trying to act way bigger, or more professional than you really are ready to be. It's because you think success is supposed to look like. Now, your business, it does already have a personality, right? Now, whether you named it or not, it shows up in how fast you respond to messages, how you price, what orders excite you, and especially which orders drain you. You know, when your business personality and your decisions are aligned, things I feel do start to feel lighter and more clear and really more sustainable. Yeah, sustainable. When they're not all aligned, burnout can really creep its way in there. So today we're just going to talk about how we can identify your business personality. Why it matters more than copy what somebody else is doing, and how it can really help you make better decisions, all around, whether it be pricing or content or customers, and growth, without doing all that without trying to become someone that you're not. So tip number one, your personality is already showing. You just haven't named it. Your business personality, it isn't something that you just create from scratch. It's already there. It's already quietly influencing your decisions. And the problem is that when you don't name it, you end up fighting against it. Forcing systems, forcing pricing, forcing marketing styles that just feel wrong. Just they don't feel like you. And you're forcing something instead of just working with what comes natural to you. Some businesses, they're fast and scrappy and flexible. Others are calm and premium and intentional. Neither is better than the other, but trying to operate a premium, slow crafted brand while offering, rush orders and bargain pricing, that's just always going to feel miserable. You know, Now naming your personality, it gives you permission to really stop pretending and start designing your business about how you actually work best. When you see personality clearly, a lot of you know why does this feel hard? A lot of those moments just suddenly make sense on it. You're not bad at business. You just might be misaligned a little. So some examples of this is a baker could be a baker, who loves quick turnaround, last minute team orders, realize that their strength is speed and flexibility, not custom art and long consults or projects that take forever, right? Once they lean into faster and reliable, that marketing became easier for them. The one, feels stressed every time someone asks for a rush order. They thrive when orders are planned and polished. So their business personality was that calm and premium, not chaotic and urgent. So for this action step, let's just write down 3 words that you feel really describe how you want your business to feel day to day. And then, write 3 words describing how it actually currently feels. You know, if there's any mismatch in that, there's your first clue. Okay. Number 2, this one's tough. So tough. But we really need to stop borrowing personalities from other businesses. One of the most common mistakes that makers make is borrowing someone else's business personality because it looks successful. They see loud, high energy brand and they try it, they try to be bold, you know, they try to emulate who they are. They see a polished, minimalistic brand and suddenly they think that they need to have perfect photos and scripted content. Well, the problem is the borrowed personality never lasts. They are exhausting to maintain, because they don't match your natural communications or how you naturally operate. And what happens? You end up guessing every post, every price, every decision you make because you are playing a role instead of building the business that fits you. And your audience, they can feel that mismatch too. You know, Authentic brands, they don't feel perfect. They just feel consistent. And consistency comes from alignment, not imitation. So, some examples of this is a home-based decorator tries to act like a massive corporate brand online, but customers actually prefer their friendly, personal, behind-the-scenes style. Engagement improves when they stop pretending. Another one, they make copies. Oh, excuse me. They copy, aggressive sales tactics that they're seeing on TikTok, but they hate being pushy. Once they switch back to their educational, helpful, content, their sales actually increased because it fit who they are. So the action step is think about one business that you've been copying and ask yourself, what part of this actually fits me? And what part feels forced? Keep the fit, drop the rest. Dirk, you're not thirsty. You just got a drink, buddy. Okay. Number 3, your personality should drive your pricing. What? What does that mean? Well, pricing problems a lot of times aren't just math problems. They're identity problems. If your pricing doesn't match your business personality, you could constantly feel uncomfortable explaining it, defending it, or even just sticking to it. A bold, fast, high volume brand, it should price differently than a boutique, hands-on premium brand. When your pricing aligns with your personality, what happens? Your confidence goes up. When it doesn't, what happens? You hesitate, you over explain, or worst case, you start to cave in when customers push back on your pricing. Your pricing is a signal. It tells customers who you are. Um, uh, uh, right? Yeah, yeah. Who? who you're for and what experience that they should expect. Right? If your prices and you and your vibe don't really match or line up, you could really attract the wrong people and repel the right ones. How many times have we had that conversation where it's like my customers are a pain, and when we look at it, it's like, yeah, well, you're bottom of the barrel pricing, so you're going to attract, people who expect low pricing on things. Just align it better. So some examples is a real scrappy, high output maker prices competitively and focus on efficiency and value, and they love it. There's no resentment, no burnout. Another one, they're very detail focused. They underprice and they feel frustrated. Once they raise their prices to match their premium process, fewer orders came in, yes, but satisfaction skyrocketed, and the difference between the low price before and the higher price now made up the difference. So, for this, let's just look at one product or service that we offer, and then ask yourself, does this price reflect how much effort, time, and care actually go into this? If not, look at adjusting it, even if it's just a little bit. So, before we get into 4 and 5, let's check back in and see how people are doing in here. Uh, let's go, let's go, let's go. Right there. Last time we went to the Super Bowl, we beat the Rams in this round too. Crossing fingers. Jerry, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Oh, Marianne. Sometimes I wish we would have moved the whole family down there, like today, when it's 40 to 50-mile-an-hour winds and we're gonna have sub-zero temps. No, to print your caps. What were they doing? And see, like on the physical side, there was so much of that physical side for those that don't know and for those that get to hear the story again, we didn't know we were buying that physical side of the business till about a week before. So there's a lot of things that we're learning as we go through with it, and hopefully it comes up. My personality is the Bufka. Well, I think we can make that a personality for sure, Brian. Like, what is that the hat? Or is that a sandwich? What is it? The Bufka sounds like a good sandwich. I'm right there. Brian, a unique personality. Yes, yes, he is. And Barb says, I'm thinking cozy and premium. I'll see what ChatGPT says. Ask your board of directors, right? Ask your board of directors, Barb. But I like that cozy and premium, and I definitely see that when I think, when I say that out loud and know you, I can see that aligning very well. And Barb, have you tried the AI features in Creative Fabrica? It it is decent as well. I have. Is that what we talked about yesterday? Monday? Monday we went through with it. I haven't done anything with it. It's on the list. Jerry said I used it. I used it some setting up some ads. Not very impressed with it. Probably need to mess with more. Just goes with everything, right? Look at Jerry telling us, Barb. It does take some tweezing. I used it more for graphics recently, and I said the pricing thing really works. It made a huge difference in my business and stress level. Keys to not cave. Everybody, give Pasha a round of applause on that one right there. The pricing, it made a huge difference in my business and stress level. Keys not to cave. Right here. Yep, not caving part. Here's what prices is. Stick to it. Not used car dealership, right? I don't go into the grocery store and barter with pricing on that. Hey, that steak's like $27. I really feel like it should be 13. So how about we meet in the middle? You know what they're gonna say? Come back when the thing's ready to go out, go bad, and we'll have a discount sticker on it. See you then. Uh, let's see. And next up, hey Todd, I've been ill and missed quite a bit. I tried to pull up TWT. What's going on right here? We don't know. We don't know, Peg. The YouTube channel got hijacked over the weekend. We're working with YouTube to get it back. That's about all the information that we have right now. So that's where you can find everything right here, Makers and Movers podcast for it. Good job. Yeah, see, good job. Hello, Jerry. Hey, Peggy. That's what we got there. Okay, so let's get back into it. Number 4, your content style should really match your energy, not the trends. Now, we'll go through this and, I got a few different parts to it, but, content really does get easier when it matches just your natural style of communication, right? Natural style communication, or should that be communication style? Regardless, it should match, right? If you're funny, be funny. If you're calm and educational, be calm and educational. You know, trends, what do trends do? Trends come, trends go. But what sticks around? Personality. You know, trying to force yourself into, the perfect daily reel and super aggressive hooks, or, just any viral format, when that's not your strength, that can really lead to burnout fast. The goal isn't to be everywhere, it's to be recognizable. When your content sounds like you, it builds trust faster and takes way less, mental energy to maintain. I know that produced content is just not my forte in it. I can do lives. I can do lives, no problem. But if I have to do produced content, it just crushes me because I get in my own head with it. Now, if I can film it as a live with multiple camera and just one take and go through it and then send it to an editor, maybe a few things in here, that's what we're gonna do. And we'll see if the place that we're looking at, if it pans out. I think it's about 50-50. Then there's a spot in there where we can do dedicated studio and go from there. So there's opportunity for us to really focus on that. Some other examples, is a maker who hates video, just switched it from it to consistent photos. And that was it. And, consistent photos, thoughtful captions, and it still built a strong audience for her. Another one thrives on stories and quick updates. So they really lean into, the casual in the moment content instead of the super polished post. So for this one, just choose one content format that feels the easiest for you right now. All right. Whatever feels the easiest for you. Commit to yourself, to your business, to anybody who's willing to listen to us, commit to us that you're going to use that and you're going to consistently use that the next 30 days. All right. Now, number 5, the right customators, the right customers match your personality too. You know, let's be honest. Not every customer is your customer. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. When your business personality is clear, it naturally attracts people who respect your process, your timelines, and your pricing. When it's unclear, what's it attract? Chaos, customers who rush, customers who haggle, customers who expect things you never offered, before. And they're not bad customers. They're just the wrong fit for you. Your clear personality, it kind of acts as that first line filter. It saves time, it protects energy, and it really makes your business more enjoyable to run. So, some examples of this is a maker clearly states turnaround times and sticks to them. Well, rush customers, they just stop asking. Yeah, all right. What happened? Better fit client showed up. Another one, really leaned into the friendly collaborative vibe. Excuse me. And it attracted schools and teams that value that communication and trust. So for this one, let's just write one sentence that describes who your business is for, and that one sentence, and then one sentence describing who it's not for, and just keep it visible. You can see, do you fall in this one? You're going to fall in this one. So, wrap this all up, bringing it home here. 5 takeaways from it, right? First, your business already has a personality. Just naming it, will create clarity for you. You know, Borrowed personalities, those can really lead to burnout. Pricing should really reflect how your business actually operates. You know, Content works best when it matches your natural energy, and clear personality attracts better fit customers and repels the chaos. So when your business, matches you, decisions are going to get easier. Confidence is going to grow, and growth really becomes sustainable, not stressful. So, little homework for you. Little homework for you. Stop asking, what's working for everyone else, and really look in the mirror and says, what's working for me, right? Because that's how you're going to build the business that you actually want to run. Now, that's what we got for you today. What do we got Friday? What are we talking Friday? Friday is going to be Friday the 16th. Friday the 16th. I don't even know what Friday the 16th means. But we're going to talk about skills that we didn't realize that we learned last year. Because A lot of people really underestimate their growth. I am having a very difficult time speaking today. They underestimate their growth. So, we're going to talk about those invisible wins in communication and speed and problem solving. Confidence. It really builds belief without hype, and helps people see the progress, even if the revenue didn't explode. So that's what we're going to talk about Friday. Questions, comments, concerns, drop them in here now, and then we'll go. Mentorship community, we'll get you guys' call in about 32 minutes. All Stars Hall of Fame, and he said check your email for the registration form for the webinar. If you do not have it, info at therhinestoneworld.com. We'll get that to you. It should also be posted in the group and on the page. So we'll go there with it. Okay. Uh, what else do we have from there? Wait till you hear about how my prices are too high from this trade deal. Oh, that ought to be good. Didn't need to tell us about that. We will hear about it. Um, no, I don't think either one of the locations is necessarily in the lead, because we see things with both of them, and a lot comes on building owners. What do they want? You got to remember, these places have been sitting empty for years, so to get any movement on it is a great thing. But like I said, I never count a deal closed until we have paperwork signed and things in our hand, because anything could happen. Now that we're actively pursuing things, somebody else could come in and say, "Hey, we want this," and they're going to go ahead and pay more for it. So, you know, what can we do? We went and looked at places, and it became a bidding war on it, and we stepped out of it. And so I'm not putting all my hopes, prayers, dreams in, like, this is going to happen. Super excited about it. I'm excited if it does, but not until it happens. You know, we've got options, and we'll just continue to explore it as it goes through with it. Okay, let's see. I talked about it last night. Check out last night's presentation. There you go, Peggy. Yep, I fall on the easy pushover. Let's not have that, Russeline. Let's not have that. So that way we can go. Yes, because you need to be over here on this one, makers and movers. That's where you need to be until we learn more, and then we're going on it from there. Uh, okay. I used to be that way too. A lot of us were. In the beginning, we took every job that came in, and we didn't fight back on pricing. And we just saw, hey, somebody else is doing this for that. I need to do it for that too. And I need to take everything that comes in there. And it leads to, stress and burnout, and just a laundry list of problems. So let's just find you and get you there with it. All right. With that, we're going to wrap up today's show. Like I said, we've got trainings and things going on today, mentorship calls. We've got a busy day here out of it. If you're not in any of those, no worries. You could actually probably maybe go sign up, and I want to check this out. Get a link. And as we get through this more, we will know. As we push through this more and hear from YouTube, we'll be able to figure out and go from there and see what it is. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, press on, and we will see you then.